Daisy AI came out with their own token. To me personally, I think this is bad news for investors. So in this video, what we're gonna talk about here briefly is this good or is this bad? Is this an indicator that they are in collapse and starting the process of Daisy AI exit scam? All of that coming up in just a moment. Hi, this is Rory Singh. If this is your first time to the channel, please find that big red button, subscribe, and also click on this bell notification icon. That way you won't miss out on any important information on this channel. Most of the time I'm asked by my viewers to do reviews. Now in doing so, sometimes I find some good opportunities, but more often than not, especially lately, I found, some brutal, nasty scams that have, scammed billions of dollars from unsuspecting victims collectively. Okay, most people don't know the difference between a legitimate opportunity and something that is a Ponzi scheme. A lot of people, actually most of the people that are investing into these schemes and are losing more money than they ever gain, a lot of them are borrowing money from credit cards and even mortgage equity, meaning money that they don't really have at the moment. Okay, and the last thing you want to do is borrow money that you've been paying into your mortgage for years and end up losing it by investing into an overnight success story. So make sure you don't miss out on any of this important information. So subscribe and click on that bell notification icon. Also, if you're tired of exit scam, be sure to check out my #1 recommended opportunity. Okay, underneath this video, first link in the description. Okay, so let's get into it. Daisy AI. Originally, it was created by this team here, Dr. Anna Becker and Dmitry Gushin of Endotech. Now, I did a review on Endotech in the past, right on this very channel, and they did not start off on a great note or even foot. The first thing that stood out to me with Endotech was this here address. I know a lot of the Daisy AI affiliates hate when I bring this up, but I always got to keep bringing it up. It's a very important fact, okay? And I have screen recorder footage, okay, for any people that are going to say, you're making stuff up. If you say that, I'll make another video and I'll show it to you. I think I've done a video in the past on this very channel and it actually is published, okay, but I can show anyone that this duo here, Dr. Anna Becker and Dmitry Gushin, right, when they started initially with their website for Endotech, and that is the parent company of Daisy AI, they were pretending that their headquarters was here. And when reviewers started exposing this information, what did they do? They deleted the address from the footer of their website. To me personally, I don't know any investment company that's promising that they're going to do the legwork for you investors, and then they're lying about their address. I'm thinking that is one of the biggest red flags that should be paid attention to, shouldn't it? Okay, I think so. Now, let's get into the details here. So, what I'm noticing here is this gentleman here, Jeremy Roma. For whatever reason, I'm seeing that he seems to be the face of the company. I don't know what happened with Dr. Anna Becker and Dmitry. Dmitry goes by two different names, by the way, which is, it brings more question marks, doesn't it? Why does he have two names? I know some of the savvy affiliates over at Daisy AI are going to come up with, some good stories to tell as to why he's going by two different names. But when I first did a review on Daisy AI, I had noticed that Dimitri, the only verified information that I could find on the gentleman was a picture of him playing chess. Okay, and after I did my initial review on them, for whatever reason, they completely deleted that chess profile of Dimitri, the co-founder of Daisy AI. Okay, so as it turns out, Jeremy Roma, a gentleman from the US who is now residing in Dubai, right, seems to be running the show in regards to the front of the company on the webinars and video marketing material. Now, here's the thing. We're talking about a Daisy AI token scheme. Let's talk about how this works. Okay. Daisy AI tokens are not worth anything outside of Daisy. Okay. You need to understand that. I did notice that, yes, you can find an MLM token on exchanges. Okay. There are ways that they can get them there. But what you first need to understand with these tokens is that these guys can create these tokens out of thin air, an MLM token. Okay. And to me personally, it's worse than the federal bank in the US printing dollars and inflating, the US dollars. A lot of people are bitching and whining about that. It is a piss off, right? A loaf of bread nowadays over here in Canada, it's like $4. So you can't, the buying power of the dollar, of course, it's going to affect other currencies as it does over here in Canada. It affects the Canadian dollar. And the Canadians themselves most likely do the same thing. A lot of governments inflate their dollars. But as an example, with the federal bank in the US, it's a great example. They print money all the time, but it costs them money to print money, right? It costs them. They have to, hire people to run machines. They have to hire armed guard. They have to hire transport. And then they even got to warehouse these dollars, right? And then security, 24/7, 365, right? With MLM cryptocurrency now, you could just wave your magic wand and all of a sudden, bada bing, bada boom, you've got a Daisy token. Now, based on my experience with reviewing these systems, I've been reviewing these type of systems, these MLM passive systems, since 2017. I have well over 1,000 reviews already on this channel created around crypto passive MLM systems that have already exit scammed. And one of the things that stood out to me was whenever they launch their own token, meaning the company, and in this case, Daisy AI, let me just take a sip of my water. Whenever they launch their own token, it's usually an indicator that the exit scam has already started. Okay. Now, I have all of this information on this blog post here. You guys could get access to this post, especially if you want to share it with any friends and family that may want to learn more about how this works. But usually they come up with a token and then they will have some type of sale. And then they're going to have the tokens parked into the company for X amount of time. And 95 to 97% of the investor base or database of the company won't be able to withdraw any of these tokens. And in the case with Daisy AI, you can't withdraw for the first 90 days. And then you can only withdraw the first 5%. And then after that 90 days is up, 10% of invested in Daisy tokens won't be unlocked until 90 days after that. But what usually happens is the top promoters of Daisy AI and the admins will be secretly withdrawing the value, making their withdrawals while everyone else can't. Okay. Now, originally when Daisy AI launched, they were paying out not in Daisy AI tokens. They were paying out in TRX. Now they're asking, they had their sale, anyone who wanted to buy these tokens could buy in before July 1st at 10 cents per token. But of course, the majority of Daisy AI affiliates didn't get in on that deadline. So now these tokens are being sold at a price of $1 to $1.50 per token after July 1st. How that works is they pump it up to, whatever they want to pump it up to. They have their ways of doing so, and then they will dump. There was another system not too long ago, the same spiel. I believe it was Tron Case, and all the affiliates there were arguing tooth and nail that their platform was 100% legit. Their smart contract was 100% legit. That it was, just like they said with the Titanic, that it was unsinkable. God himself could not sink that ship. But what did we see? There, the Titanic sits at the bottom of the North Atlantic. There, with Tron Case, the first version that exit scammed less than a week ago, TronCase.io, and its smart contract, it exit scammed. So nothing is unsinkable. Okay. So at the end of the day, what is going to happen here? Eventually they will exit scam. Okay. And what you're looking at here is basically the exchange. They're asking affiliates and investors to buy in with Tether. And in exchange, what you guys are getting are useless, worthless tokens by the time you'll be able to withdraw. And by that time, most likely all of the sweet stuff will be squeezed out by your top promoters and your admin bosses. At that point, it's going to be game over. Can you imagine that? You're supposed to be getting paid out in Tron. It's like promise of gold. And it turns out to be rock. Now, one thing that stood out to me, I'm going to close off with this here. I noticed that Jeremy Roma is now residing in Dubai. Someone told me that, hey, Dubai is very strict. One thing you need to understand about Dubai and with the US, because there's a lot of Americans who've invested in Daisy AI since the start, right? And with this fellow who was in the States, who now is residing in Dubai, the US doesn't have any treaty of extradition with Dubai. You guys can go and Google this for those of you who love doing due diligence and research. I was going to post a link to this, but I'm thinking you guys like doing due diligence and research, some of you, especially the affiliates. You can go out there and check that out. So some people are saying, yeah, Dubai, it's very strict. you know. I don't think so. I'm noticing a lot of scams. Qubit Life held their event there, didn't they? Didn't they hold a few, right? I've also noticed a couple other, passive systems hold their events there. And I've noticed even some top promoters are hiding out there. And I'm thinking they're hiding out there because they feel strong. They feel like the US can't get, the long arm of the law on them. Hopefully that's the case for their sake. But to me, that's another red flag, wouldn't it be? If your leader is hiding out over there, wouldn't it be?